Good afternoon. Happy Savage Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here. And today, guys, we are on episode 119 of Savage Saturday Comic Review. And I'm going to review a book that a lot of people showed an interest in. A lot of people mentioned to me, and a lot of people I know in the community were looking forward to this book. I was looking forward to this book. So, massive disappointment, and we're going to get into it. And it's unfortunate. And I like to keep things positive on my channel, but since so many people mentioned this book, and it was one I was really looking forward to, I feel the obligation to tell you exactly how I feel about this particular publication and where it went wrong. So we are going to review Frank Frazetta's Mothman by Opus Press. And we're going to use the Frank Frazetta part very loosely, because this is not carrying forward Frank Frazetta's legacy at all. It's not doing him any honors. And it's just not doing him or his legacy any favors. It's just not. Clearly, if you read this, it feels like a complete departure from this painting. And it doesn't feel like it captures the essence of what is here. Now, when you look at this masterpiece, and I'll put a picture of Frank Frazetta's Mothman up there, you get a sense of wonder, a sense of horror. You get sci-fi, horror, fantasy, and you get it on this grand, epic scale. You can see the fear in the guy that's trying to pull the girl away. She's holding on to the branch. She's got like this sense of wonder and fascination with this creature. You have, in the backdrop, flying saucers coming in. Is he an alien that's from one of those saucers, or is he something that's being chased down by those saucers? You don't know. There's a lot of imagination going on here. It's one of Frank Frazetta's, I think, most epic paintings. I think it's a masterpiece, obviously. And this story, for me, doesn't ruin the painting. It just feels like somebody was using a Frank Frazetta concept to cash and grab. But let's get inside the book, and we'll keep talking. And look, I'm gonna review it honestly, and at the same time, I'm not just gonna sit there and say super negative things. I'm just gonna say why it doesn't work for me. I'm not here to trash anybody, and I'm not here to say that I could do better than anybody else. I'm just saying how this fails to me as an adaptation of a Frank Frazetta painting in the comic form. All right, so we have the script by Tim Hedrick. And for pages 1 through 7, you have art by Andrea Muti, who did incredible work on Bunny Mask. One of my favorite, I love both series of Bunny Mask. And Andrea Muti, the work in here, the art is solid. And then you have Gigi Baldacini doing the inks on 1 through 7. From 8 through 24, you have Louis Garagna doing the art. And the art's not the problem with this book. The art is good. The art's serviceable. The problem with this book is the writing. The writing, to me, is just way off. And I'll put pictures up here and there, but we're not going to read this whole book, guys. It's a waste of your time, in my opinion. It's a waste of my time, in my opinion, to read it again for me. But let's take some of the base concepts, right? This is a very cliche-ridden book. And it's like they took this painting from Frank Frazetta and they just threw a bunch of cliches at it to create a story. All right, so when you're opening up, you, of course, have this young couple parked by themselves in the woods. Every 80s horror movie ever. They're making out. He's moving in on her. He's trying to hook up. She's playing coy. They have more going on. Apparently, she rents from him with her grandmother, and he's threatening to kick them out if she doesn't put out. All very cliche setups right like that. And just when it's getting heated between the two, of course, there's a big crash, and an alien spaceship lands before them a ways off. Now, the first thing they do is blame these people called the Ferals. Then we cut to this farm with the Farrells, and they immediately see the crash. They think that someone has planted something on their property, and it says, "I knew those lying son of a bitches were out cooking on our land." So they think these guys, these other people, are cooking moonshine out on their land, and they have a distillery out there somewhere illegally, or other drugs, right? And and they're calling it some kind of prefab metal cooker. The guy has a drone, puts the drone out there, and already you have this alien spaceship that landed basically in a teen horror movie with these two trying to hook up in a truck, which have history together. And then you're setting up a feud very reminiscent of the Hatfield and McCoys, of these two rival hillbilly gangs that don't like each other, right? Neither one of them seeming to be very respectful, because if you're living out in the country, there's no way that you would be a hardworking, contributing farmer or any other trade out there that would be contributing, and not something cliche that you would throw in a book like this, I guess. So we cut to the guy that's hooking up with the girl, or trying to, running through the woods to see what the crash is. And you have another guy following behind, and you see them come upon the crash. They try to make him chivalrous at the last second, and he tells her to go back. You see the drone overhead, and you see a dog racing out ahead of them. And then it cuts to the alien. And the alien's just like speaking perfect English, right? So why wouldn't he, right? He says, "Hi, I'm not from around here. Look out," as he sees the drone up ahead. And a grenade is dropped from the drone, which kills one of the gentlemen on the spot. But the Mothman takes off with the dog into the air and saves the dog. Probably the only good part of the book is him saving the dog. But you see the Mothman in the next panel. You see in the next page. Sorry guys, the story's just really rough. You see the one family of hillbillies return to their home with the dead brother, and you see the father instantly blame the other group of people that are blaming them for stuff, right? Again, Hatfield and McCoy's, not a lot of imagination going on here. And the one brother who was trying to hook up with a woman says there was something else out there, something with bug eyes and giant wings that flew off with Roscoe, some kind of fucking Mothman. And the father says, "You trying to tell me a giant moth killed your brother and stole my dog?" He says, "No, the grenade killed Matt, but those things with Roscoe was just cradling him. I know it's crazy, but you ain't seen what I seen. And it wasn't human. It ain't nothing like us." And this is supposed to be setting up a sense of horror in you, and it doesn't. You cut to the Mothman, who is sitting there petting the dog, scratching it on the head. And he's having a conversation with the dog. What do you mean it's going to take 15... Oh, I'm sorry. He's having a conversation with someone else in space. He does talk to the dog throughout the book, though. But he's having a conversation with someone else in space about getting his ship repaired. And they're telling him it's going to take 15 cycles to get down there with a repair craft. He's like, "I won't last that long. These people are crazy." Now, he says these things are crazy, which suggests that he doesn't have any kind of previous contact with human life forms at all, right? These things are crazy. Doesn't know what they are. So he's had no prior contact with them. All right, so then we cut to the girl that the hillbilly that was trying to hook up with, and he told her to go home. She's in with her grandmother, and they try to give you a little exposition of their living conditions. The grandmother's popping pills, drinking whiskey, because apparently that's all old hillbilly women do, right? And she's dreaming of winning the lottery and of a better life for her niece before retiring to bed. It's not doing much else for the story right now, so the woman takes her grandmother to bed. And then we cut out to a place called Point Pleasant, where we get another cliche entered into the story. This is of the internet blogger with his camera, and he gets wind of a crash, and he's in his car, and he's on his way to film it so he can make internet history by filming whatever happened out there. Again, blah. All right, we cut to a graveyard, and with his car passing by, and it's just a couple little scenes and panels of him and his car racing to the scene. He somehow knows exactly how to get there, and because wherever he was, he obviously saw where the meteor fell. And it says, now a meteor has fallen from the sky, crash landing where Cornstalk's village once stood. He's trying to give this old myth of an Indian burial ground where this Indian was falsely murdered, and how no soldiers would testify against the other soldiers who had killed him. But he somehow knows that this is exactly where the craft fell, even though the craft's only been down for a little bit. And he's, of course, self-congratulating himself on his intro, saying how dope it was. And then we cut back to the other side, one of the sides of the hillbillies. The ones, of course, they all have guns. One of them grabs an elephant gun, the world's biggest elephant gun, because why wouldn't he have it, right? You know, because every problem you have out there can only be solved with your shotgun. So he's loading that up, and they're heading out with the father in tow. Now, the one brother died, and the other father is going out to save the dog, doesn't care that his son died. The other brother's talking about what I'm going to do for the funeral for him. And he said, he just dismisses him, calls him a sissy, and he, quotes the thing, read the good book, son, let the dead bury the dead. Roscoe's still out there, and they bring him home and kill anyone that gets in the way. You go pick out the flowers, that's more your speed. The men are going hunting. Right? So the men are going hunting, this alien and the other rival clan of hillbillies. Again, really, really bad. And then you cut to the alien working on a spaceship, having an argument with the people that are supposed to be coming down. And he's using words like, God damn it, it's fucking dead, and shit. Now, this is someone who has no previous contact, as the pros would suggest earlier that we read, when he says these things are crazy, right? But the only thing he's ever using are human slang words like fucking, goddamn, shit. So it immediately kills any sense of believability you have in this Mothman character. Now you just think it's going to be some human in a Mothman suit in disguise, right? Because if he literally had no contact with humans before and didn't know what they were, how would he know the vernacular? How would he know the slang? How would he be talking in the clipped tones that humans talk in? And so his dialogue makes zero sense. And that just completely takes you out of the story. It completely kills the mystery of the Mothman and any kind of mystique that this character should have based on the Frank Frazetta painting. Then, of course, we cut into the woods where the hillbillies are running through the woods with their shotguns. And they're about to shoot at a bunch of bushes when the dog comes through, and they almost killed their own dog. And you see the creature finally gets a cloaking mechanism up on a ship and cloaks it just in time to disappear before the humans arrive, and he jumps into a tree. Now, one group of hillbillies is there, the other group arrives, and they're both accusing each other of tomfoolery on either side, and the one gains it doesn't matter what their names are because they're insignificant. The side who had the son die is accusing the other ones of killing them, and the other ones are accusing them of blowing stuff up on their property. The alien's hiding in the tree next to a bee's nest, and apparently this alien has, oh shit, not wasp. That's the dialogue for the alien. Oh shit, not wasp. Because having no other contact with human life form before, the only thing he would say is, oh shit, and know exactly what type of creatures these are, right? Not wasp. And then it makes the giant leap of him having some kind of international peace treaty with this group of aliens that appear like the wasp, and he can't understand why the wasps are attacking him. Really, really not great. All right, so. And like I said, there's probably not going to be a ton I'm sharing over here because it's honestly just not worth your time. One of the hillbillies shoots at the alien. It breaks a branch off the tree, which crash lands on the spaceship that's cloaked and breaks the cloaking device, and now the ship is available to see. And then we cut to our vlogger, who's saying, oh yeah, move over this paranormal life. My podcast just got visual. And he is filming the Mothman taking off from the tree with the wasps attacking him. And that's how it ends. And the last words in that book saying "cha fucking ching," guys. He's cashing in on that photo. It is drivel. And I'm not trying to pick on the writer, but this reading was completely uninspired. You took nothing of the fantasy, horror, sci-fi element of this cover and put it in the story. You made a Hatfield and McCoy's Hillbilly story that had an alien crash landing in the middle of it and a city vlogger trying to go viral on his vlog. That's it. So you threw together a couple cliches and you put a crash land alien in the middle of it, who you stated in previous texts that he didn't know who humans were because they were these crazy things. And then instantly, whenever there's any kind of dialogue with the alien, it's all human slang vernacular that he would have no idea of what it was, right? No attempt to make the alien unique in any way or sound like an alien in any way. So we'll start with the good part, the art. We'll give the art an A. The art is solid. Unfortunately, the art had a bad story to tell. So that diminishes the enjoyment you get from the art. The story we're going to give a D. Not even a C, a D. It is every old bad Western and bad 40s, 50s sci-fi movie rolled into one. And it's not even a fun homage to them. It's just bad. The whole time I was reading it, I was angry that I spent money on it. The only positive I was trying to take away out of it is I got the beautiful Frank Frazetta cover. But then I was reminded that I had bought 2 covers. And then I was mad at myself again. A terrible book, guys. Don't waste your money. Clearly, they drew no inspiration from the actual painting of Frank Frazetta. This does his family no respect at all. This is just a straight cash grab production from Opus to cash in on the Frank Frazetta name without doing any kind of honor or any kind of homage to the work he's done. There is so much that you could take out of this painting. And a Hatfield and McCoy's hillbilly standoff, blaming each other the whole book and shooting each other at each other with shotguns, and an internet vlogger trying to go viral are just not part of what you imagine when you look at this cover. And if it's part of what they imagine, well, they didn't. They just threw a couple cliches at it and tried to make a story to sell a book. Poor Frank Frazetta. Poor Frank Frazetta's family. I'm sure they can't be happy with this adaptation, and it's hard. Don't spend your money on it. If you're watching this and you haven't bought this book, I do not recommend you buying this book. Go spend $15 on a print of Frank Frazetta's Mothman, or go to theFrazettaGirls.com and buy a print of Frank Frazetta's Mothman. But don't buy the cover just for it. You can just get the piece of art somewhere else, and it won't have this garbage story attached to it. But that's it for today, guys. This is a total bomb all the way around, except for some art. But the art was completely savaged by a horrible story that it had to tell. Until next time, thank you for watching, and keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code KEEPITCASUAL for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.